Hey everyone, welcome back to another 31-minute podcast. George,
Good morning.
Jack,
Good morning.
how are you both?
I'm great.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good too.
Yeah, excellent. Well, Jackson's running off to get some tissues. He's always got snotty nose. I don't know what it is. It's all that cocaine abuse, Jack. Let's bang out some questions, George. Get straight into it.
Yep.
We're trying to keep up with the questions, but we can't always. But let's pick 4 or 5 quick ones.
I was laughing about this one, but what happens if you're an energetic and positive person, but you're married to a complainer and a negative person?
Well, I'm not the best person to ask because I'm a bit ruthless.
You are very ruthless.
Yeah, I'm a bit like, well, if this isn't right, I'm out of here. I'm a bit like that, you know. So, and I understand people are like, oh, well, that's not practical because you might have kids or things or whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, I actually wanted to do one on divorce. We should talk about divorce today, a little bit.
Yep.
What do you think, Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Love
You've
divorce.
ridden through a couple of divorces, Jack, with me.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. There's 2 ways to look at that though, because you attract everything into your world. So you can't blame somebody else for being that way. Like, let's be brutally honest. Tara is a bloody pain sometimes. Love her to death. Do anything for her. But gee, she's like fierce sometimes. And what I do is I stay real steady with it, super steady. You know, because, you know, she's growing and she's learning about life and things, and, you know, she's going through different stages. But the most dominant energy rules. You got to remember that. So if you're calm, so Jordan, me and you. So actually, Tara's going to come on a podcast with us. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. I feel like it'll just be Jackson and I looking like a tennis match. Like, dude.
Yeah. She said someone said get her on, and so she said yeah, she'll come on. So maybe we'll do that next week.
She probably made the account.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah, it's funny. On TikTok and things, she's so funny. She gets on there and starts like, that camera's falling over, Jack. She gets on there and writes things to people. Like, if they're writing not so good things or whatever, like, and she's answering questions. I said, why are you doing that? She's like, I don't know. What did she say? I can't remember what she said.
She writes that much on text messages. Like, she was just having a conversation with me last night. It's like,
Yeah, I know. She's a beast.
all these paragraphs.
Unbelievable. But let's say it's your partner. You got to work out whether you want to be with them or not. You don't have to be. So, you know.
How do you know?
How do you know?
How do you know
You
when?
just know. You know, like, and my last wife, Shelley, she's a good, nice person. You know, she was like fantastic, great mum, got a lot of respect for her. She's great. But just, you know, just didn't quite have that dance going on. You know, so it was like, you know, you can sort of keep pushing on, and you know that thing you think, oh yeah, it'll work out, like it'll get better, or it'll work out, or you know, it's just. You shouldn't have to force it. Like, there's not one day I'll wake up, or actually sometimes when she's like going crazy, but there's not one day I wake up and go, oh, I don't really want to be here. You know, like sometimes it takes a lot of bravery to say, hey, I'm out of here. Because you've got to pull your life apart and put it all back together again and rebuild. You know?
It's changed a lot, hasn't it? Like, used to be till death do us part.
Yeah.
Like my nan and pop, whom I love more than anything in the whole world, for my entire life slept in different rooms. And I used to, and would barely talk to each other. But I used to think, why don't you just get divorced? Like, and actually spend the next 20 years happy. Like, then this whole weird energy. It was uncomfortable a bit.
You sort of, yeah. And I think because that was expected a bit down then.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woman's a woman, man's a man. That's just what it is. And
no matter what, you never get divorced. Yeah.
I remember when with Jackson's mum, we were only together 5 years or something, And I was just like, you sort of look forward. Like, I don't know if everyone does this, but you sort of like propel yourself forward. And I was like, And her mum and dad, like, they're probably one of the, from what I see, that's her dad is just so unhappy. And I'm like, I reckon it's going to end up like me. And I had 3 young kids. And it just in my heart, I was like, no, I don't want to live like, I don't want that. I could see it, you know. And then, could I have stayed there? Probably. You know, would it have cost me inside? Probably. So it's like, and I'm not saying I'm an example. I just followed what I wanted, what I felt was the right move, and I'm happier now than ever. Like I mean, you've been with me a long time, Jackson. You've been stuck with me a long time.
Yeah.
And I'll take your guys' opinion. You know, am I happier now than ever?
Definitely. But it was definitely a wild few years there.
It was a train wreck, you know, and I had, you know, all people going, oh, I don't know, you can't get divorced, like, blah, blah, blah. And I always saw it as like a bit of a failure as well. That was in my mind. Oh, another one, gee. You know, and they're super expensive. They're like, they cost a lot. And then you got to manage them. Then you got to manage the kids separately. Then you got to pay child. I've been paying child support for 20 years. So it's like, and I've still got another 15 years to go, or whatever it is, you know, with Bay and Flora. But I do make a lot of effort with them. But there's something about being authentically you that is very powerful. And I'm not saying just go off and get divorced or anything like that. I'm sure when some people work at it, they can work it out. But I just felt it was the right thing.
Why do you think, like, a lot of marriages break down? Like, a lot. Most of the people that I know are on their second marriages.
Well, it's a funny thing, you know, and this is not a relationship counselling podcast. It's the furthest thing from that. You know, I'm just talking about experience. I was talking to Tara about this yesterday or the day before. And I think the difference between me now and the difference between me before is because time in a season as well. Like when you're your age, Jordan, you're out there just building, trying to get established. I don't think that's a great time to bring kids up and be like with all these other weights on you, because that's if you're wired like you. Not everybody is, you know. But you can only do so much as well. Whereas today, I'm acutely aware of what Tara needs, like acutely aware. So I'm like, pretty much my whole day is making sure she's happy, she's supported. You know, things need to, you know, in her life. I'm emotionally aware of her, because I think sometimes when people, they're in a relationship, but you're not fueling the other person either, like it dies.
Yeah.
Sort of like you're not watering the garden. We talk about it quite a bit. It just dies, and you end up with 2 people living in a house. There's no chemistry left. There's no, because I think it's important, that chemistry stuff, and, you know, like the attraction thing, you know, like staying attractive for your partner.
Yeah.
You know, in whatever way that looks like. And I mean, things change when women have kids, and, you know, it's hard to be, you can't be the same as when you were 20 and, you know, you've had 3 kids. You can't have that expectation. But I'm talking more about energetically. Because when you're on a path of energetic radiance, you are attractive. It's almost like it goes up another gear. You know, when Tara, you know, has a baby one day, I'll probably see her even more. You know, like it's because like I'm just really connected with her. You know, so that's probably something that I look at, you know, differently now. Like you can't always, and I'm not 25 either. So, but I make an effort. I make a real effort to stay attractive for your partner. And also like, I think trust is a big thing. You know, I think trust is when you got a relationship where you just trust each other and you're very connected. I think that has a whole nother dimension to it as well. When you sort of half trust them, or it's like, you know, when someone doesn't really want to be there, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Like when they're always looking for go here and go there. And like, I just like spending time with Tara. Like, I'd choose that over going to the pub or going to, you know, going away for a boys' week or whatever.
Yeah.
I would choose that myself. And I think she knows that. So it's sort of like, I think that brings a lot of connection.
So with this person that's like, because I think about this, married to a complainer and a negative person.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you don't marry a complainer and negative person. Like they change. Like I always think, like I'm sorry to say this, but I'm just going to say it exactly how it is. Like I always say, you know, when you see that guy and they're like 40 kilos overweight and the wife's like still sort of attractive.
Yeah.
I think like
we know a couple of people like that.
yeah, I think you can't do that. Like and expect them to stay around. Like I feel like you do have a duty to your partner to I guess be the person that they married.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a bit like,
I've never been married. I'm just saying that I can see like why relationships would break down. I've got friends now that like have major money issues. If I had major money issues with a wife and kids, I would not be home. I just work 5 jobs. I'd be like, there'll be no money issues. We'll just, I don't know, care what we have to do. There'll be money in the bank.
yeah, it has so many layers.
Yeah.
It's not funny because sometimes in life you go through different things where you're like, you know, money's great, money's not as much. But when you've got a real strong relationship, I think it actually propels you into
Just ride it
success
through.
anyway. Yeah, whether it's sort of, it's like a, you know, moving up and down sort of thing. But I think being with the right person is really important. Like I think people sometimes jump in a bit quick. I did. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. Like I just thought Karina fell pregnant. I had sex with Jackson. I didn't have sex with Jackson. I had sex with Jackson's mum once. Jackson fell pregnant. Jackson fell pregnant.
Are you right?
Karina fell pregnant. And then her dad goes, well, you better get married. And I was like, oh, okay. But I was in a really not so good way. So I was like, oh, let's do that.
I thought he was going to save you a bit.
Yeah, I thought I was looking for security and, you know, they had a family dynamic I was like really interested in. I was like, wow, like they actually get along and they have this home where they sit around and eat dinner together. I'd never had that in my whole life. I was like, that's really weird. But, I know it sounds funny, but Karina's dad so Karina's got a twin sister. He bought them a necklace for Valentine's Day. Karina was like 18, and I'm no joke. I was like, I think he's a pedophile. I was like, what?
Because he bought a necklace.
Because it was Valentine's Day, and I was like, I think he's a pedophile. Well, I wonder why he's doing that.
Well, I'm not. What? Because he bought.
It was so unusual for me to have a dad that cared about his daughter that much that he bought a necklace for Valentine's Day. Like this is when I first met him. I was like, because this was totally foreign to me. I didn't have a home like this. I was like, what the hell is going on here? This is real weird, like super weird. So, but I was a bit like intrigued. So I wanted to be a part of it. So I was like, yeah, because Karina's mum sent her to Queensland to get her away from me when I first met her. She sent her away and then did everything to try and he's not this, whatever. And then I just tried real hard, like to go out with her.
Didn't you join the church?
Yeah, and I was like, I'll stuff you then. I'll just join the Mormon church and then that'll make you like be with the daughter. So I did. And then the mum's like, oh, well, you have to just be together then. So that was like, and that's how I my phone number is Karina's number. So she had a little mobile phone. Well, you wouldn't remember, too young, but this little basic one. And her number, when I got into real estate, she gave me her phone. So that number there is her number. Yeah. So, how funny. But I think if your partner's complaining and whatever else, you got to, that saying, first seek to understand before you're understood.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, you got to look at why are they? Because I know when Tara sort of gets a bit cranky or whatever else, it's usually because I'm a bit disconnected or she's not being heard or, like that's why I'm pretty aware of her now. Like, and I'll probably never. I'm always like she hates talking about the World Economic Forum. Like hates it, like with a passion. She doesn't want to know. She doesn't want to know about that. She doesn't want to know about Justin Trudeau in Canada. Like I spend half my morning writing troll comments on Justin Trudeau.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah,
in
he
the
almost
morning
got
at your
banned.
house.
I was on his Instagram and it's like you can't. He's commenting these things, and I was like, Dad, you can't comment. You can't say that.
I'm like, can't wait till they hang you in the street, you parasite.
He's like, your account will be banned if you post anything. I'm like, Dad, you got to stop. You really can't.
Yeah.
That tries to hide it too with like the @ symbol instead of the A and stuff, and it just doesn't
I do
work.
words because they won't let you put it on there. I do words like, let's say it's like what do they say? Like, whatever word you can't say, like loser or whatever. If you do L space O space S space E space R, the bots don't pick it up, so you can still write.
He's cracked the code. He's a hacker.
Anyway, so but I'm mindful of that. So I could be talking at her all the time because it's probably one of my greatest topics because the world has no idea where these people are trying to lead it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even these, I'm just going to talk about it for 1 second, but these 15-minute cities, they're trying to bring in 15-minute cities where you're sectioned off. Everyone lives in a 15-minute city. You can walk anywhere in 15 minutes. Everything you need is there, but you're not allowed out more than 4 times a year or something to go out past the border of it. That's what they want to do. And they want you to stop eating meat, eat crickets, all this. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, come on, mate. I'm like, cut the head off the snake. Let's go, like, whatever, all this stuff. And so it's a really interesting topic for me because I'm like, I can totally see where these people, these nutbags are trying to take this. And I'm like, but for my kids, not for me. I'll be dead. So it'd be like for Jackson and then his kids and whatever. And I'm like very passionate about it. But I'm aware that Tara she's not interested. She has, if I'm talking about German Shepherds or babies or sunshine, talk to her all I want about it. You know, if I go through her TikTok feed, all it is dogs, kids and things. Like, you know, that's of interest to her. So for me to connect with her, I've got to talk about stuff that's of interest to her. If I was complaining all day, and in a way the WEF conversation is like me complaining at you all day, it would repel her. So you can't expect someone, and you've seen people before when they talk at you, not with you. We know people like that. But when they talk at you, it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
So imagine being married to someone who has no interest in what enthuses you, what turns you on, what pumps you up. You know, imagine being married to someone like that. And if it's not if it's not fixable, I don't want to spend the next 20 years like that. It's like being in jail.
Yeah.
So I want to say, yeah, sure, I'm going to hang out in a room with this person for the next 25 years. Just because you got kids and stuff with them, forget it.
Yeah.
No way. So that's how I see it. But you first got to understand them. Why are they doing that? So you married this person for a reason, or you're with this person for a reason. Things change. A lot can happen in 10 years' time. You know, like you look at you. You're a totally different person than you were 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So 1, do you like the person? 2, do you want to, you know, you might have to bend to connect with this person. Like I do. I don't want to talk about German Shepherds. I have no interest. I don't. But Tara will send me video after video of German Shepherds and I'll get home. She goes, did you watch the videos? I'm like, oh, well, I forgot. So I'll watch now with you. You know, whereas I could go, stop sending me those videos. But, you know, if you're not going to water it, it's going to die.
Do you think you're more patient now than you were 10 years ago?
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. But I do feel I'm with the right person. You know, and there's a whole lot of things. There's age differences. There's, you know, Tara was very emotionally charged when I first met her, but I could see, you know, what I liked what she was, and you know, and I liked the journey that she's on as a person, and I think she'd be a very good mum at some point. The kids really like her, you know, all of these things. I mean, you know her well. So am I willing to invest and change, like bend and, you know, emotionally connect with her in her way to keep it enthused?
It's the same in everything, though.
Everything.
Like even as a business
relationship,
partner, like
me and
you do things a little bit different to me, but I respect you enough that I'll do it your way.
Yeah.
Because you know better. And that's
but on the other side, what you bring, not because of what you bring, but who you are, I would literally do anything for you. Like anything.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And it's the same.
Yeah. My success is your success. That's transferred to Jackson. Like we are doing life together. Like I literally see us forever just doing whatever. And the more successful you get, the happier I get. And I think that's what a personal relationship is as well. If you bugged me every day, you couldn't get me to stay. I'd be like, get out of here, mate, or vice other way, you know. So I think you're personal. Just because you signed up with someone doesn't mean you've got to stay there. And that's what I meant before about you try and, you know, give it a go and understand this person. But why are they complaining? They probably can't stand you. Probably.
It's a good point.
What's another one? Let's bang out another one.
This is an interesting one. Why do bad things happen to good people? Why do good, happy, giving people not experience true love? Two different questions. I'm more interested in why do bad things happen to good people?
Because they attract it.
Yeah.
It's just, you got to see everything in your life as a subject. So whether it's work, money, because they can say, oh, he's a good person, but what's something not good that happened to someone? They get robbed.
Crash the car or something.
Yeah, they get robbed. You know, like they have a house invasion and they get bashed up and robbed. But they might have fear around, like they might live in a lot of fear that you can't see. They might seem like happy on the surface. It's a little bit like, have you ever met someone have you ever seen people with angry mouths? A bit like that. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And they're just like an angry person, but they try and be real nice. I heard a great saying once. I don't know who said it, but they said everyone has the equal side of the thing. So it's like if they're really overly nice, such nice people, the other side is like they've got a fierce temper. And it's like it's sort of so true as well.
Yeah.
So you might think they're really happy and nice on the surface and all of this, and they might seem like really nice people, but they might live in a state of fear inside or anxiety that they just like deep down they might be like, just a bit fearful of life or stressed. You know, look where stress is on the bottom of the scale, and then everything that comes to them just matches it. It's once you see it that way, there's no like bad things happen to this person because they attracted it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you can't look at it from a distance because you don't know how like their energy is pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like on top of that,
Like how many times do we know people like and then they do something and you go, can't believe they did that.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, or heaps. But people think I'm like this confident, you know, not out there, but like confident, hold yourself well. And I have the worst people anxiety in the world. Like I just die when I have to go somewhere that has people. And like, but see what I mean? That's a good example of.
I just thought of that lady saying, people are scared to talk to Matt Steinway, but not me.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
not scared. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So it's like you can't really look at it and go, oh, why do bad things happen to good people? Because they're vibrating at a frequency inside on all subjects. What's the next part? We'll end on Colin's one.
Which one's Colin's one?
That's that one about his mum. But
Oh, yeah.
there was a second part to that thing.
Why do good, happy, giving people not experience true love? I don't think that's the right question.
Yeah, okay. True love, yeah. It's the same thing.
There's another one here.
Yeah.
Love your stuff. What's your current training split? And what would some advice be for myself who currently has a 1-month-old and a 2.5-year-old, which affect my sleep plus my commute to work every day? How would you find the zone every morning? I'm generally consistent with training, but I feel I don't have a goal focus, which brings next. How would you find your health fitness goals
That's a good
if
one.
you were in my position?
That's a really good one.
Mm.
Yeah. So do you want to break that down?
Yep.
Okay.
The first one is, how does she keep her energy good with a 1-month-old and a 2.5-year-old, which affect her sleep?
Yeah.
And she commutes to work, and he commutes.
Just
sorry,
put them up for adoption. Adopt them out.
I can't help you with this one. I've never had a kid.
Yeah. I used to die when Jackson was born, and because I used to get up at 4:30 letterbox drop, and he'd cry all night the whole time. I was like literally dying. Like I can remember it now, the feeling of it. And Karina was no help half the time. Like, get out of bed, go and get Jackson. And I'm like, well, I don't have boobs, I can't feed him. What are you talking about? It's like she's like, go, I'm tired, and she'd be like, she'd have this real temper. And anyway, when you got time in the season, you can only do what you can do. So the kids are going to take a lot of your attention. So I don't know if he gets up or not. Any commutes, any works, any trains, I would back off on the training big time. You know, I would. And I just do what you can do at the time, because you've got to manage your energy first. There's no point training if you like it's almost on empty. You know, like there's no point, because you're just not gonna enjoy it. You're gonna deplete it more. So I would probably just go just for a while, just so you can steady the ship a little bit. So that's if you'd like dying. You know, so if you like really got nothing left to give, you have to, something has to go. You can't keep putting things in. You can't change the kids. So the kids are there. I don't know what his wife is like. I'm a little bit.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I feel like if that was me, it doesn't say that he's a single dad or anything like that, but I reckon you need a routine. Like Monday's my night.
Jordan, that's come from someone who doesn't have kids.
Well, like a routine with your partner. Like today, wouldn't you?
The mum's
That
probably
makes-
like literally can't cope. We got a 1 month old and a 2 year old or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Why can't
They
you
would
work out
be they would be dying. It's the worst.
But you're telling me that you can't work out a routine. Like
You can't with
today's.
kids, not really.
But
No.
I know they're not going to sleep. Like their routine's going to change. But like Monday, you get up. Tuesday, I get up. Wednesday, you get up. Thursday, I get up.
Nah.
Thursday morning, you go to the gym. Friday morning, I'll go to the gym. It feels completely logical to
Yeah,
me.
no, because the kids might. Jackson was up 10 times a night,
But
every
that's-
night for
that's
a
her
year.
night.
No,
And my night, he slept the whole way through. So
yeah, no,
it's what it is.
mate. You had that puppy. You had that pup for 2 nights. You gave it back.
Oh, you were
It's
going
supposed
on and on and on about that dog as well.
Yeah.
How bad is the worst.
and
It's
you
so
were hating
hard.
it. See, like that's a puppy for 2 nights, and you gave it back. You meant to have it for a week or something, and you went and dumped it in the yard. Whatever you did, I don't know what you did. Gave it back or something. Yeah,
Wait, you're saying I was going on and on about that?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
You
were
were.
stormed in the office.
Really backed me into
Yeah.
a corner here,
Yeah,
haven't
you
you?
were like losing it.
So I think in this, what's his name?
Jeff.
Jeff, I think there's a time and a season. Look, and I've had 6 kids. I've had, you know, managing them separately, living with them, all sorts of things. And then, you know, at some point, I'm sure I'll have another kid at some point in time. So it's like,
Do you think timing with a kid is really, really important?
oh, there's no timing. No.
Like, look at my life right now. 4:30, I get up. From the minute I open my eyes, we're working. You and I are talking till I went home. Went to bed a little bit early last night, but we're normally working until the moment I go to sleep. I think, where do you fit anything else in that
That's
time?
what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, I just have a routine. On Wednesday, you get up, and then on Thursday, I get up. I think there's 2 ways to look at it. I'm a little bit old-fashioned as well, though. So everyone's going to be different. So I'm like, the woman needs complete support when she has a kid in every way possible. Yeah?
Mhm.
So I'm not really like a mothering type of guy.
Mm.
Like those guys that wear those things on the
I
front
knew
of
you were
them.
going to say this.
Yeah. Those guys that wear those things on the front of them, I literally can't stand it because it's like, it just doesn't look right. Yeah.
I hope Tara gets you in one of them.
No. No, I'll carry it around. I'll carry the baby around like that, you know, when need to.
So you believe the husband provides, there's money in the bank, whatever,
Well,
and the wife,
supports, not just provides.
yeah.
The husband supports. So the way I see it, and look, and I'm speaking from experience, and my opinion is different than others.
What happens if the girl earns more money?
The girl does,
Yeah.
but I don't live with that girl. I'm talking about me.
Yeah, right. So you think you have to work out whatever matches your situation?
You do.
Mm.
You just sort of got to.
Because some
Mold-
people both have to go back to work. Like
Yeah.
my brother earns great money.
Mm.
I think he's almost $200,000 a year, but that
Yeah.
doesn't still allow for four investment properties. His wife
Yeah.
still works too.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous topic, this
Yeah.
one, because everyone has different opinions. I'm
yeah.
only talking about my own. So like, I can't give anyone advice on this, and I've had 2 failed marriages. So, and the third one is going real good. So it's like, I've got perspective, but I can say when Jackson was young and I was in the building phase, I probably, when you're saying timing with kids, I probably shouldn't have, we're going to go longer today. I probably shouldn't have had them. I wasn't ready at all. And what a kid does is it amplifies where you're at. That's all
Yeah.
it does. Like if you haven't got a good relationship, like you sort of have a kid to not make the relationship better, you have a kid because you think that's what you're supposed to do on the next step, you will probably end up breaking up if it's not good because it's put so much pressure on you. And it just amplifies times 20 exactly what's happening in your relationship. So should I have had Jackson at that age? No, definitely not. And then should I have waited till I was like 40? Probably. But I didn't. I had to deal with it all the way through. And the fallout was exactly what it is. You know, like I just couldn't get my stride in life properly with the personal side of it because I wasn't right there, you know, myself. But where do I, looking back at all of this experience, bringing Jack, and I never skipped a beat with, you know, child support, so I had them half a week every week. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 1 week, Saturday, Sunday, Monday the next week. So there was a Saturday night in there that Karina could do, I could do it on every second one. Because I was supposed to have them every second weekend, but I couldn't do it. It was too big a gap. So I had to bring them up separately, share it, pay for it, whatever. It was very difficult, super difficult. And where I look at now is like, am I financially ready? Am I emotionally ready? And then can I support Tara in a way that's going to help her feel as fueled as possible? Because I think what happens is you have a baby, the woman has so much pressure on her trying to feed, especially if it's a new mum, trying to feed, trying to run the house, if she's still working and all this sort of stuff as well. And it's literally like drowning. Like you put all this weight on and then they just start drowning and then the man can't cope and then he runs off trying to work and do boys stuff and then it just implodes. Like that's where it goes. And then on top of that, it's more expensive because now you got to pay for the kid and now you got to do all of this. And it's like, it just becomes such a management task. That's what I mean. It amplifies everything. So the way I see it now is as a man, yes, you have to provide, yeah, for sure. But you also, I probably now see support more important. You know, so like the woman feeling, if she has to get up and feed 3 or 4 times a night, you sort of have to make sure that she's feeling all right. Because if she falls over, everything falls over. Like it's like if the mum gets flu, like what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, like it's so critical. So that's where it's like, is she all right? What does she need? So when Tara has a kid at some point in time, I've got to make sure her network around her, like all of the supporting things are functioning real well. So if she needs to go to the gym for an hour or just for a walk or just sometimes just getting outside without all the stuff is important, you know, and then the house has got to be clean, but not by her. Like that's where I see it. Like I need to take that off of her. It's more about taking stuff off of her than putting more stuff on her. That's where I'm at now. At 50 years old, looking back, that's critical. You know, if that part is good, things will go much better. And they've got to feel emotionally supported as well. Like I'm not a warm and fuzzy type of guy. You know, I'm not going to sit there and cuddle her and watch Avatar. No, I'm not.
No, I know you're not.
Yeah, no, and I'm just being very honest. But what I will do is I will die making sure she's supported. Like literally making sure she wakes up and goes, I know Matt's got my back.
Yeah.
You know, I need this, I need that. Like, can I do this? So if Tara needed to stay in bed all day, you know, because sometimes they need to choose to.
Money's a big one.
Money is a big one. I
It
know
solves
you're
everything.
busting to talk about it. I can say,
I'm not busting to talk about it. I can't.
But
talk
money
about
is
it.
a
I
big
haven't
one.
done it. That's 95% of it.
Yeah, so
you can take all the stuff off with money, pretty much.
yeah, so things like the pub needs to go out the window. Things like hanging out with your mates out the window. This is the way I see it. And you're right. You got to get out there with your sword and start building a life that you have more choice, so you can make sure life keeps happening really well. I think that's sort of the way I see it. So what I'm going back to here, your energy, if the woman's energy is good and she feels great, your energy is going to be good as well because you're going to feel a bit satisfied.
Did you want to finish on Colin's one?
Yeah, in a sec.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this one up. So it's like, is that Jeff's one about the thing? So going to the gym and training, like you might have to modify for a little bit for the next 6 months.
He's saying what should his health and fitness goals be? You're just saying just do what you can.
Make sure the woman feels really good. Yep. The best she can. So that's peace of mind. It's, you know, mentally, emotionally, all of this. So you don't have to sit there and hold hands. I don't do that. But what I do is, like you say, George, I'm out there giving it a real crack. I'll check in. Like Tara, I've probably rang her 20 times yesterday just talking to her because she was in bed not feeling that great. I was like, just making sure she knows everything's good. That's what I would do first. And then once that's like the glue, once that's happening, I think you can start bringing the other stuff in. So your gym goals just might have to take a little bit of a back seat, a little bit. If you're not feeling great, so if you're like tired as all hell, just go for a walk, do whatever, just manage over the next few months just so you can get a real steady ship. And then you can build from there. That's what I reckon.
Jump onto the last one?
Yeah, go.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Be great if you could cover it on a podcast. I have no family. My parents died. Other than my sister who lives in the UK, the only family I have left in my life. I'm finding it very hard to keep a relationship with her, as all I get from her is judgment and abuse for my life of choices. I don't drink alcohol anymore, and I get called miserable. I invest heavily into...
Is this from the Nan?
Who?
Is this from a Nan?
From a Nan?
Is this his Nan? His grandma?
I don't think so.
Is it from his partner?
Colin? No, he said, I have no family, my parents died.
Yeah, but what's he saying?
Exactly this, he's getting into it.
Yeah, but who you were saying? Who's calling him names?
Sister.
Oh, his sister.
Oh, his sister.
Sorry. Yeah. My sister who lives in the UK is my only family. I find it hard to keep a relationship with her as all I get is abuse and judgment for my life choices. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I get called miserable. I invest heavily into courses, my business, so I can keep growing, and I get called boring. Her life choices are different to mine. She works a 9 to 5, consumes hours of shit TV every night, drinks most nights and on the weekends, and is very unhappy. I'm extremely happy with my life and my choices. How can I get her to support me as the only family I have in the world? But I'm very close to cutting this relationship with her.
No, it's not even that hard. Never ring her again. Get her out of your life. Don't talk to her again.
The same thing.
Forget her.
Yeah.
Don't even waste 2 seconds on her.
Yeah,
Who
I
cares?
agree.
It's for your sister. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Let's do you want to add to that?
I agree.
Yeah. Let's just quickly wrap up to the end of the year. I know we answered a few more questions today. We didn't really share too much, whatever. But end of the year, what are you doing, George?
What am I doing?
Yeah, end of the year.
this
You're gonna have a big one.
No. The 2 weeks over Christmas is the most important time. Like, I'm looking at it this year like this could most definitely be Cookie's last Christmas. That's very, very important to me. I don't talk about it because I'll like go down
Might
that
cry.
whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it. I'm gonna recharge with my family, and it's my mum's 50th as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm older than your mum. What are you doing, Jack? Christmas
Go to the library.
library.
Port Macquarie.
That's good.
No, we just got Queensland, and I'll see you guys, and then
Yeah.
see Sarah on Christmas, and then go away for a few days.
So are both you going to drink? Where are you at?
I'll have a few, like with Sarah, but like drinking with Sarah is nothing like, because if I drink with the boys, it's like you don't go home,
Yeah.
and then if you drink with Sarah, it's like 3 or 4 with some food, and then in bed by 10:30, and next
Good.
day's good.
Yes.
I'll pick my times.
Yeah. Maybe. You're
Maybe.
going to get on it,
Nah, no way. I don't reckon
No?
I'll ever touch
Yeah.
drugs again.
Jordan? No.
No.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I think next year what is the date today? The 13th. So I think next year how we choose to head into it, I think is going to set it up for
Yeah, I'm completely
the tone
comfortable
of it?
with my next year.
yeah.
I just got all my clothes pressed and dry cleaned. I went through my entire wardrobe. Did I tell you that I hate when I pull out a shirt and it doesn't fit me right?
No.
It drives me crazy. Like, you know when you pull out a pair of shorts and you're like, why are they even in the drawer? So I cleaned my whole wardrobe, changed all my suits, rebought custom shirts. I've redid my whole listing presentation and book. We've got all of our auctions. I said to Ash, on the 4th, I want all these listings live. So I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I think
What are you doing?
me?
Yeah.
Just going away with Tara and then just to Qualia and then coming back. But I'm keen to see what's possible next year for all of us. We'll do a podcast or two before we go anyway. But yeah, I think the frequency that you choose to go into next year with Jackson is going to be very important. So no giving in and no bendering.
No, I won't bend her. I don't
No.
want to. I'm
Yeah,
too scared to
please.
come home and see you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
No walking in at 4 a.m. going,
Yeah, that's the typical, yeah.
Sarah was making fun of me last night at that. What she was going, Dad, Dad. And I was like, what are you doing?
Jackson, I don't know how many bags you had that night, but anyway.
One.
No bad. Oh, one. But I'd really like to create massive momentum heading into New Year because I think, I know everyone says, oh, next year I'm my best year yet. I don't really care about the best year yet. I definitely care about the most consistent feeling next year. So I want to there's a thing called, let's end on this, there's a thing called a receptive mode that Esther Hicks talks about quite a lot. And the receptive mode is once you hit, and people ask about frequency all the time on TikTok. They sort of say, what is the frequency? What is the zone? How do you get into it? This is a whole lot of rubbish, whatever they say. But think about the receptive zone, which is, the receptive zone, yes. And then if you think about it this way, it does make you think about how you're going to spend next year. And this is really what I'm shooting for. So the receptive mode is when you're vibrating at a frequency that matches the things that you want. And this is an Esther Hicks thing. So this is not me, it's Esther, but you should start listening to her. People, if you don't want to, we can talk about it anyway. So when you vibrate at a frequency that matches the thing that you want, it must come. So when you choose to vibrate lower, all you're doing is blocking the things that are coming to you. So if you've got something that's stuck in your life that's not coming, that's only because you're not vibrating there. And then if you raise your frequency to a point where you haven't been before, what's going to happen?
You'll attract it in.
Attract what in?
Different things.
Different things. Things that vibrate
Match that frequency.
at a higher frequency than you've been operating. So my whole goal next year is not to, I don't have any goals, not one. All I have is to go to a place vibrationally that I haven't been before. But to do that, you need to be consistent. You need to be emotionally consistent. You need to be thought consistent. And then you need to be action consistent. So that's why I think fitness is a really high priority next year for us, because I think fitness does trigger your frequency.
Yeah.
So the target next year is to vibrate at a level and watch the things come that we've already asked for at some point in time, but then open the gate and let them flood in. And I think once you do that and you unlock the potential of that, I think the things are unlimited that are going to find you. That's my target for next year.